We want something more fun, guys. Like, why are you picking the same 4 heroes? That's not fun for us. We're going to beat the same 4 heroes. At least pick something different.
So what do you think about this Lina instead of an Ember Spirit? Does it do something that makes this all worthwhile? Is it set up for Weaver, I guess?
Ember Storm are not going to be as good this game just because of the lockdown that DK Bane provide. Like, it's not a game where you can take advantage of VP's lack of disable because they have plenty of disable and they also have a counter pick. So I think it was just a more stable mid laner that gives them some good burst damage, some good playmaking potential, something that the Ench and the PL don't really provide.
Okay, and he's got to outlane a Alchemist, or at least make sure Alchemist doesn't get out of control. And considering that Newbee has good lane dominators, if they can win their lanes and push that into map pressure, then yes, Alchemist can get shut down. But considering it's a PL and CM and line are both kind of squishy, it just doesn't feel super safe to me. But depending on how fast SCCC can get his Yule Scepter, maybe they can. End up slowing down no one and making this game go along.
Yeah, so I guess the Alch gives you an answer to the PL this time around since there's no Shaker in the pool. It is a very different playstyle. The Shaker kind of more that fighting, team fight heavy one, whereas the Alch is like the carry that can match up well and deal with the PL.
Worst case, he could get the cleave talent at 20, even though the stun one is so... No, that's just a stun is enough to probably kill PL. So,
yeah, you can use that on illusions themselves. So,
but in some ways, they swindled their opponents slightly by picking Dragon Knight 4th, thinking this is our mid hero, and then they end up picking a different mid hero late, making Pasha play the DK. So, DK matching up in this game, though, doesn't feel amazing against PL unless you get the jump on your opponents, but it does feel pretty good against CM and line. His HP's high, his armor's high, so killing him's going to be a little bit harder. Kind of feels like he's going to be a little gimp this game, but if he gets like a hood or something, he'll be fine.
Yep. So here we go. Important game for Newbee particularly. VP not guaranteed top 4, but pretty close to it, which would put them in the winner bracket of the main event. Sure, they would like a higher seed if possible, and also, you know, all these games, any wins you can get just going to help build up your confidence going to the main event. And VP definitely I feel like more so than others, maybe a team that needs to be playing confidently. They're an aggressive team. They're a team that have underperformed historically at the International, and I think that is just not a place they want to be in at, where they're kind of going into the main event as like a 4th seed and they had a rough group stage.
It's not unknown territory for Newbee, though, at least. So, and maybe this is one of their next solution against the Enchant, to put a Dragon Knight in the lane. Like Bloodseeker, very tanky, but in this game, he's going to have a harder time. Now, they did see the Observer Ward. Look at Noah taunting all the way, and he knows there's an Observer Ward here. This is what was kind of cool what they did. They put a... they basically ran Sakuchi Weaver mid to place the Observer Ward, and as a result, they got there first. And because of that, they ended up seeing the enemies placing their ward first. And that was even Enchantress running mid. That's a fast hero, but not as fast as a Sakuchi Weaver. So he gets a free D-Ward, he gets a 4th of a level, and he starts off with some really nice gold.
Very well done, as early game start is already looking pretty good for them. We'll see how many bounty runes are going to be. It's going to be 2 apiece, nothing crazy. And that's, you know, that's par for the course. You're happy with that. If you've got an Alchemist and you get 2 out of the 4 bounty runes, that's decent. We saw 3 out of 4 yesterday with an Alch team, which was kind of crazy, but that is definitely the outlier.
So fly out a circlet eventually with a salve. Once his support stop hogging the courier. Go fast Aquila to increase his armor, his mana regen, all that good stuff.
And the support's up to. They brought out a sentry, it looks like. No one actually bought the sentry and sent it bottom with his early game D-Ward money.
Okay, sent them a second follow-up one, I guess.
Yeah, wants to block the pull camp, so...
And they do. Kaka also has a sentry, so he should be able to D-Ward this if he spots it later, but by the time that he does, it might be too late for the first pull.
Yep. So you can see the 3 lanes there. It is going to be Enchantress this time playing in the safe lane, not the off lane, giving the PL what looks to be a very easy lane for him to farm in up top.
Yeah,
to CM supporting especially.
This is the way to do it, because if you put a Enchantress against this lane that's slightly scary, and against heroes that actually aren't that survivable from range damage, then it's going to allow Enchantress to get the best of both worlds. And on the opposite side, then a PL just gets to do whatever the heck he wants against a Dragon Knight. He doesn't care that he can't necessarily out-harass him. He just wants to win the lane really hard.
Kaka going to use his sentry for the lane itself. He gets hit by the Bramble Maze and he's just dead. That damage output, I don't know if he was expecting 3 heroes there. Roger had been hiding in the trees for some time, and Roger then gets the pull as well. So really good play down bottom. This is, if you're going to aggro trail like this, you have to use the pull, and they didn't really want to aggro trail in an Enchantress. The problem is you can't really TP rotate your lanes because your opponents will just do the same thing. So you kind of have to commit to these lanes. So VP, not happy with the lane matchups perhaps, but are going to make the best out of it.
And because they block the small camp, they can't pull on the other side to try to offset this. So as long as VP can get these pulls going, it's going to be a bad time for them.
Yep.
So a little stun, some damage on Solo here. He's got tangos, and Brain Sap can always flow out as well.
Careful about those brambles. Doing a lot of damage at level 1 as KP trying to come back in to get some of these last hits, but a lot of denies going the way of VP with the neutral camp there.
Back on the mid lane, SCCC is doing pretty well, 15-3, but no one is still catching farm. 12 last hits for him, and he's actually going to spot the Arcane Rune first before the Lina does. SC is going to be, I'm sure, a little disappointed about that. Yep. Really helped his lane.
And he's got the bottle coming out, so I think he was hoping that the 2-minute rune would still be there for his bottle, but not going to be the case.
Oh, either way, it's not the best thing for no one to have more acid sprays, but
no, it's
sure
you're not worried too much about the Arcane Rune.
Stun.
Oh, he's got mangoes too. He's going for this kill. It looks like
a stun.
He went for a point. This is another Dragon Slave here. No one. He's going to be very close to going down. The right clicks just aren't quite there, but there's a CM. Hello, says Faith. I'll take this one.
Ooh, I thought he lost that one because the Observer Ward losing high ground vision. The mischance helped as well, but great rotation there by Faith. It's a great timing. I mean, by the time I started looking at SCC, he was doing a great job pressuring the Alk, and that's sometimes something that gets lost. You know, you want to be there at the right time, but sometimes you just aren't there. You don't always know when SCC is going to do really well, but that lead up to that, maybe helping Faith rotate over and know it's a good time to gank.
And it was definitely good timing for that Courier to come out with the bottle and double mangoes because he was running out of spells, and I think that's why no one thought he was safe, because he could see the man on the Lina kind of low, but suddenly there's bottle charges and mangoes, not quite the safe lane you once thought it was.
But interestingly, he picked up the unstable concoction level. Very often that's delayed, but I guess against a hero like Lina might be nice to be able to protect yourself. In that moment, he thought he was going to be able to get a kill, but SCCC able to stay alive, and that'll slightly limit his gold output. Yeah,
I imagine he may have, like you say, been trying to go for the outplay. You do that surprise thing, and you see Lina going too aggressive, and you get a kill out of it, but
I don't think it's the worst thing. I mean, you're losing basically 4 gold per last hit once you're maxed out.
Bottom.
Bane kill, possibly. He's got Brain Sap. He does
Brain Sap his way out of this one, and KP has a bug on him too, so it's not just Kaka going down. It should be KP as well dying.
He lived? Oh my god.
Wow.
He nightmared himself?
Things.
Oh my god. I thought he was
mango
dead.
Regen 2. He's still got plenty of mana to play around with. He gets salved up. Boy.
I just, man, that's Solo, man. He knows exactly when it's time to nightmare. He pushes up the limit.
He's probably the best Bane player out there.
I think so too. So how are the other lanes going now? Moogie's at 26 and 8. The Dragon Knight's at 17. Not too bad, actually. Probably helps to see him left the lane, and he's also just really hard to kill with all this armor and regen. But I think he's going to be pleased with his lane setup. He's not super zoned. Stun lands mid.
Yep, Stun's going to land. Faith's going to follow it up with a Nova. Wakes up SCCC to get the Dragon Slave for a kill on Solo.
Oh, that was really good
to play.
Faith broke the Nightmare, is that what happened?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that was
he
really good.
used his spells and then broke it too, so he made sure he got the Nova off.
That's a really good play.
Back at the top bounty rune, a bit of a fight going between Pasha and Moogie. It's going to be one apiece up top and down bottom, where the actual clash is coming. Kaka stunned up and picked off. Did get the bounty rune, but will pay for it with his life.
A little costly because he doesn't have boots yet, so delaying that means he's harder to roam. More likely he dies, but because it does channel into preventing out gold on the enemy team, probably worth it. And they're actually setting the pressure in. They've got 2 Observer Wards, one's blocking small camp, one's spotting him here. He's going to land the stun. He's got his ulti. It's going to be close though.
He's not level 6 though, so he can keep on chasing for this one. Has the movement speed from the Fiery Souls. No one needs to be careful. Dragon Slave back up, and nope, not enough damage here with the raindrops. SCCC, I think, thought he had that kill, but guess is wrong with the LSA now as well, and no one jukes his way to the shrine. Gets out of there.
Well, he did lose ulti, and he's completely out of mana, so probably not the best for SC, but he's...
Yeah, he's particularly not happy because no one's able to just keep on farming with the shrine usage, and he's going to stack up a camp here. Gets a nice little medium camp, another 3 units. Not the golems that he perhaps wanted, but still good enough.
Yeah, and both supports basically trading here.
Nightmare into bugs. They think they can kill KP, and it's not going to be the case, it looks like. KP just right-clicks the bug under the tower. Didn't actually have his heal up, which made it a little bit scary.
hiding over here, but they know exactly where he is. Pops his heal now, and it's gonna be a little close.
It's a brain sap. They may just keep on diving this one. Ramses doesn't have much health regen though, so he has to be careful. They want to keep the siege creep alive, which is what probably the main goal is, to do some damage to this tower. Ramses has to be a little bit careful.
He'll get a enchant here though. He may break. No, he's gonna go more untouchable.
Brain sap. KP just getting chipped away at 3 points and untouchable. Still being chased here. Soul's got another brain sap soon. Still tower taking damage. That's a big part of this one. They kept this siege creep alive a long time. KP going to get back to safety now and will be kept alive. Back at top.
Looking like a kill.
KP cancelled. Nicely done by Newbee. They get themselves another kill, and it's Moogie on the PL having a pretty good start here. 40 CS for the Phantom Lancer.
So I think this looks pretty decent for Newbee right now. The Alk isn't out of control. He's actually at the same net worth as the Lina, but he is doing some jungling here. Power treads up as well, and how's Lina still sitting in the mid lane? I mean, the support's got some easy levels mid while Lina was roaming, so Faith has already got 3 points into Arcane Aura. It's going to be very helpful for an int-based hero like Lina and Enchantress, actually. So, helps them win their lanes. They've got all these levels. They can dive top, whereas on the other side, you got this off-lane level 5 Dragon Knight. What does he do right now? Almost nothing.
Yeah, we've seen some of these DKs get sacked one in another game by Optic, and it was a similar thing where it just felt like he was playing catch-up for a long time, and it took ages to get a Blink Dagger up, which he could have an impact with. And well, it's not just DK having a rough time, it's Ramses as well getting very low. Shikuchi keeps him alive, but he's not level 6 yet, so even if he hits it from this creep wave and gets time-lapse, he's still going to be on low health. He needs some kind of regen. As Moogie chasing the Dark Willow in the trees here, not going to find him. As he does turn back around, hoping to maybe get a lance off here. The slow from the Nova gets Moogie close, gets the lance out. Roger needs to be careful, has a Bramble Maze, he's gonna pop it, but doesn't actually. Oh, there we go, gets the root afterwards. Moogie gets some backup now. LSA is going to come in from the Lina rotation. Lina's here, SCCC wants to clean this one up. There is a bug on him, which he gets the focus fire onto, but still very low. One more right click from Ramses is going to bring down Lina. That's a big kill to be taking here. Moogie, it's up to him now. The PL needs to clean up. He has some help from Faith, but that's not going to last all too long. Ramses in full retreat. He's got a triple kill on Moogie. Ramses will be A-okay. He's not going to succumb to the PL pressure, but all of this while Alchemist farms.
They did a good job picking off the Lina. The bugs are so hard to deal with, especially with that much stuff in the area, and maybe the PL should have covered him a bit better, but just took so much to kill the Dragon Knight. His HP actually was valuable there. I said, what is he going to do? Well, he can just tank a lot of nukes. It made it easier to pick off the Lina at that phase. She only had an Aquila, so she's really actually not that survivable right now, but
Ramses forced a time-lapse at top. A little bit too aggressive there, though he knew what he was doing. He wasn't really in any serious risk of dying.
Does waste his time though. He's got to run all the way back to Fountain, you know. Yep. Didn't get a great trade there.
And it's not like, yeah, there's no shrine, there's no jungle, no one's been taking that, but ultimately he wasn't going to really be able to defend this tower on his own anyway.
Smoke around through the jungle. It's going to be Crystal Maiden as well as Lina, but unless they get the Frostbite, he's going to get knocked out. I think Faith making a bit of a mistake there, popping the Nova then rather than wrapping around and catching no one as he shifted to the right. So kind of a costly one.
And even just the Lina not being quite in position to follow it up. Crystal Maiden's still nearby. Faith, it may want to block some of these camps. Seen a lot of CMs play this style back at bottom. The bounty rune fight, they know there's an Alchemist in the game, and KP wanted to stop the bounty runes going his way, but Ramses gonna be getting both, thanks to the grip from Solo.
So no one, still about the same net worth as the PL. I'd say this is a good position for Newbee to be in. Usually you want to be ahead on Alchemist, but he's prepping with his Invis.
Yep, and they got the damage for this one. Kaka has got Finger. He just hit level 6. He could level it up. He doesn't need it. Oh, that maybe he does.
Okay.
Just throws the Finger on a 50 health Alk, and I'd say it's hell worth it.
Yes, absolutely.
You want to make sure you get that kill.
That suicide would have been really costly. I mean, he still would have lost gold, which would have been good, but getting the gold on the other side, a little bit of experience, super valuable there. The Lionstone is a little delayed, though. The Light Strike already hits. The Elk was able to get some distance out. Yeah. Maybe that made a difference, but
perhaps he was waiting for that Nightmare, expecting it to come to like dodge some spells and wanted to like impale after the Nightmare or something.
Yeah, to do damage. That way it breaks and they don't have to like, you know, take it onto yourself or something. Yeah. Bane is often in the right place at the right time. Solo is very good at that, so huge kill. And now PL is sitting a whole 600 gold ahead of where Alk is, so that was a massive pickup in the mid lane, and lucky they got the Invis rune.
For fast, if usually he's going to take the fighting approach. The Battle Fury PL build all but dead at this point. Have not seen that in such a long time.
Oh yeah. That build was just like mechanics broken, essentially.
Yeah, Battle Fury got some pretty decent nerfs over time. AP down bottom, needs to be careful. Curse Crown is there. Does go for the heal, which is going to deter Roger from using a Bedlam on him.
That was Faith. Somebody started TP there. I'm not sure who it was, but they cancelled.
Here come Newbee though, smoking in enemy jungle. They're trying to keep tabs of this Alchemist, but they just can't quite get the trajectory right. They'll find Roger instead, which is a nice kill. A better one would be Ramsey's down here. The double siege creep. Seen this before, trying to just push waves with this one. Beetle's being thrown back here, and it looks like the job is up to KP and SCCC to tank this one. They've got no heal for a couple of seconds. KP, yeah, they're going to keep the siege creeps alive. No Dire Glyph, and KP healing up. He needs to just take the heal himself. Don't share it with those siege creeps. And the tower is not going to be claimed, yeah.
A little bit more armor, this would have been fine. He actually does lose the second one as well, so bit of a loss, but still a good grab. Then that's going to be a deadline.
Grip on Kaka. Yeah, where is it? There's follow-up. There's Mugi there, but the stun hits too. Nicely done by no one as the follow-up from Lina comes. Not in time to save his teammate, and they're looking for more. They really want no one. They dodge the Terrorize with a nice little doppelganger. Mugi trying to gun down no one, but with Chemical Rage up, just not possible. And Faith dead as well. Two Newbee heroes hit the floor, and it could be a third. Mugi trying to TP out, gets caught by a Dragon Tail. He's got a doppelganger in a couple of seconds, but he's not going to get a chance to use it, and it just gets worse. If SCC gets caught, and it's a 1 second stun. That's all you need. It's not even a 1 second stun. It's the bare minimum. No one knows they've just won a big fight, a key deciding one. SCCC gives him the tip before he goes down. He's a good sport.
Man, so bad for Newbee. It looked kind of good because there was a haste rune on the Lina. He was wrapping all the way around to try to catch the Elk, but that Terrorize and the threat of the Terrorize made things so hard. If anything, if they just all ate it together, it would have been disengaged, nobody dies, but that overdive, the tier 1 is still alive, by the way. The overdive there proves to lose all of their cores, and a short moment before that, it just looks so good for the spellcasters on Newbee's side.
Yep.
Getting a lot of pickoffs. Catch solo down here, probably not. Either way, he does buy out on Lina right before his death, so he's got the Yule Scepter ready. So now solo ganking is going to be more than easy to do.
We'll see if they keep playing the aggressors. They sure as hell will. They immediately smoke, and I believe that one was under a dire ward in that jungle, as Dragon Knight's going to find a stun initiation with his fresh Blink Dagger. Kaka in some trouble, completely airballs the stun. He was hoping for the Weaver there, but didn't actually have detection. Instead, they'll find Pasha. With the smoke rotation in, they actually had the whole team there, whereas VP were playing elsewhere on the map, which is probably fine for them because Alchemist closing in on his Radiance.
So, with detection, I mean, he's got Blink Dagger on the Dragon Knight at least, so he can get in some of these fights, and it's okay to have a little miss here or there, as long as ultimately they're still creating space for the Alk. He's still hitting up his Tri-Camp, and still just a little bit ahead of the PL, but he's in acceleration territory. Pretty soon, once he finishes Radiance, things will get out of control, so a couple more kills would be useful, or at least Newbee needs to pressure the map in a big way, and they're still kind of just holding their lanes.
Yeah. They've got these two deep wards in one side of the jungle, which are nice because you see the Alk when he's there, and if he's not there, you know that he's over at that Tri-Camp, which is a very common place to be farming. Problem is they're using all these smokes, so it's quite difficult to gank right now. Kaka down bottom. Gets found out by a Blink Stun, blowing up. There's 4 VP heroes there, so the TP support gets immediately cancelled. They don't want anything to do with it. And the really nice thing about this is VP, every time there's bounty runes there, making sure they get 2 of them. Last time I think it was Optic when they had the up. Every single time bounty runes come up, they got like 0 or at most 1 of the 4 bounty runes.
That's super detrimental. Really changes your pattern. Now, still only a bit ahead of his opponents on the Alk, but Newbee has grouped up and they're pressuring the top tower. They keep the siege creep alive this time, and it's full HP though, so it's going to take some doing here. They're going to try to catch solo, perhaps.
Bramble Maze will stop the chase, and even the threat of a Terrorize, being able to constantly pump fake it and cancel it is very hard to deal with here. Never quite know when it's going to be coming your way until you see that animation, and, well, Newbee are going to be able to take the tower. Is it denied? Nope. Not timed by Solo. He attempted it though.
Faith in trouble, being chased here by...
Pasha's rotating in on the DK from the river. He's going to Blink Stun here if he can find a good target. But PL himself is actually... They found Pasha, I believe. They know he's here. Pasha may need to blink out. He does do so. Back to the shrine area. We see Faith, Kaka so low in health, but with Tranquil Boots on these two, they will be slowly healing back up.
So they get out just fine, but definitely a lot of careful movements there. If they make mistakes, they're going to get collapsed on. At the same vein, they want to stay a little bit wide so they can collapse on their mobile opponents. And net worth is starting to creep out of control. No one hasn't moved from this place on the map in quite a while here. He's queuing up the typical build, Manta style afterwards, and even still, it's going to be a while until no one feels safe in team fights, like BKB territory basically, because if he is out of position and he gets grabbed, the only save that he has is a Terrorize from an ally or a Nightmare to possibly interrupt the chain stun.
Here's like Ench can kind of sit far away and just deal a lot of damage in a short amount of time. Lina Lion, the dual finger combo, do incredible single target burst damage.
Well, he might set up on SCC here. He's got a grip. Oh, he lands a stun though. That's going to buy him time to run away unless...
Oh, caught by the Bramble. First crown is there, and SCC is going to go for the defensive Nightmare on solo. Stops himself taking any additional damage, and nicely done. Big kill for VP.
I'm not sure why he used the Yules originally on the Lina, but I saw him Yules as solo was TPing in, and that was kind of where he was in a lot of trouble. I think he saw the solo TP also, perhaps, but nice kill. Lina kind of pressuring top, trying to look for a solo kill, but instead he just dies.
VP immediately turn this into an aggressive play down bottom. They're going to run right into KP solo, gets the grip off before a heal comes out from the Enchantress. There's a TP from the Crystal Maiden. DK, can he get the sound? Goes for the CM instead. They find a new target here. Alk shows up with a nice two-man unstable concoction. Mugi caught in that one, but they don't want to fight this PL. They're fighting under Shrine, and they know just how deadly that can be. In fact, Alchemist could have been in a lot of trouble there, except for a perfect Terrorize, catching out absolutely everyone, securing the retreat here. No one wants to turn and fight. Gets the unstable concoction. And some help there with a bit of vision, and
what a save from Roger. And it wasn't just the Terrorize, it was also the Bramble Maze.
Yep.
When the Lina backed up briefly, Kaka's going to defend himself a little bit here. Don't worry about the bugs.
Still okay, potentially?
Oh, he wants to play around it. Forces him back. So he lands the Terrorize.
Down bottom.
1 second.
Yep.
Never a pause.
Went for the... Not a hero initially. SCC now in full retreat. Has a Shadow Amulet. Can they spot him? They can burn him down.
It's only a
Breathe
matter
on
of time.
fire.
Maybe...
Yeah, SCC, you got to do something here. He's going to throw his spells in. Yeah, they know he was melting as PL shows up to the party. No one does have ultimate though, and I don't think PL can find him. Mugi is so low, he just dies to the Breathe Fire. Newbee are just collapsing.
Man, they're just punishing. They always find SCC, and they have more than enough heroes to get these kills, so it's just...
the kill.
They're just running him down. So those are a couple crucial mistakes. I mean, the last 2 or 3 deaths from SCC has completely changed the tempo of this game. He hasn't found kills. His opponents have found kills. Just ward vision. There's sentries everywhere, and VP's just in the right spot.
This feels like a game where Newbee, like last game, even though they lost and it was kind of convincing from VP, I feel like overall Newbee played solid Dota. This time around, it's a bit sloppier. There's a lot more mistakes, a lot more kind of iffy decision making. Lina, getting caught solo pushing top and then down bottom. Lina gets caught again, and PL's like, oh, I'm going to run in after Lina's died with in a 1v3 against all this AoE damage, and just also loses his life. It just feels like some really questionable plays based on the fact, they're versing VP, they're just trying too hard to make something happen.
Yeah, maybe he's just feeling a little too confident. I mean, he was, prior to that death, 6-1-1, so he's doing very well. He just hasn't hit 15 yet. He doesn't have the health perk, and basically getting hit by the Alk stun there. He flew out a little bit earlier than expected. If he doppelgangs that, then yeah, maybe he can get a kill out of it, but still a little dangerous. No HP talent, no HP items, and they have quite a bit of AoE. Even like Breathe Fire is a great way to reduce the damage output. Yep.
Puts us back at Bounty Runes.
Their scan. Haven't seen too many teams do that. Scan to see, like, did somebody take the Bounty Rune? If I go over there, am I going to die? And Roger going for the safe play, so...
It looked like VP just got 1 this time. A bit more acceptable.
Yep. Pasha waiting bottom to see if they can get a kill with Dark Willow. Whatever he throws out, and maybe could kill KP here. He's got a lot of
plenty of magic damage from the Dark Willow Bedlam. You get that insta stun.
He's got the talent and the cloak, so also possibly survival.
But Newbee bringing the entire team, so this is a bit of a bait here. And the second they see the Lina as well, it looks like, yeah, they are gonna, tuck themselves in. Breathe Fire to say, hey, I'm here, but he's actually blink TP'd, so nice little cheeky play from DK.
Yeah, I like that one. That was good. At least he waited a little bit until his support started TPing first.
Yes.
Normally it'll be like, Breathe Fire, haha, I'm safe, guys.
And then the support they go looking for you and they find your support, like, okay. So that's not cool.
That'd be a bad time.
Manta Style on Alchemist is online.
Game feels really hard now. Alk's a full 50% more net worth ahead of where the PL is. Last couple of fights going bad. It's just like the scary thing about Alk. You have to take really good fights. You have to win most fights just to stay even with him. And now they're behind. And as soon as he finishes his item afterwards, things get really scary. But he's got Blink now too, so we're going to see some stuns. Going to jump in last second and turn some fights.
Someone wants a ward. No one's just going to Quelling Blade. It gets pinged. About to say, you may not reveal yourself attacking the ward, but when a big area of vision on the map gets removed out of nowhere,
yes.
Most teams will notice that.
Faith has nothing else to do, right? He's standing in trees. Might as well look at the map. So they'll start off with Roche. The bug is going to get killed pretty quick now. No one does pull aggro eventually, and yeah, they're getting ready to fight.
Newbee's like, we gotta just go for this. We're reversing an Alk team, we're already behind. Let's make a play. KP just gonna go running in. We'll get stunned up. Doesn't stun any teammates, at least with the Terrorize trying to follow it up. They're gonna take the Enchantress down. Immediate buyback here. They're going for more. Their leader gets jumped over with the BKB on Ramsey. Since there's no solution to him, Alchemist is out of control as well. Radiant's Manta already up. Roger gets the kill. Enchantress is brought back. I don't think there's much of a fight for her to come back into. And this is with Mugi having a double damage. He just found it then, I believe. Enchantress, well, didn't really buy back into a whole lot of fun. Just PL surviving, who is, you know, playing around the outskirts of this fight, is going to find Roger. Nice. Little cheeky kill there. Normalin, indeed, as VP will secure Roche.
So even though, I mean, they were very ahead prior to that team fight, but even still, the advantage of being on Dire with Bramble Maze feels so strong. Because if you look at the ramps, it's so much about like how the ramps approach the Roche pit. It's just grouped up there. You have to go down a cliff, down another choke point, and if he drops a Bramble Maze like that, that's like 3 Brambles on the way to getting inside Roche. So it takes Enchant far longer just to get there. It lets them know that they're coming, and they're going to group around and get terrorized anyways. This is what VP's abusing on the map, and this is why they're picking Dark Willow and why they're sticking to the Dire side. All they do is land 1 stun on Lina, they get the follow-up stun with the BKB on Weaver, and it's just so easy to win the fight.
Yeah, it's even with Mugi, you know, he's dodging some spells, doing what he can. It's nice, it's cute, it's keeping you alive, but at some point, you know, you actually have to address VP and take them down and contest the Roshan, not just play around it.
Oh, don't mind me. Just a wee fairy going about her business.
So Maelstrom on Weaver now. He's got the BKB, almost to Lincoln's as well, sitting about 3,000 away. But once he finishes that, how does Lina even get something done? She's just finishing the Shadow Blade now. Their opponents are getting item solutions already. You can't even solo kill Ramses anymore. It basically have to be lying into a Lina combo. And Lina felt so good for like 14 minutes, but all those deaths on SCC have just really hurt him. That's
what we've seen with Lina a bit in general. It just, there's this fall off once you kind of get to this mid game until you get like some of those defensive items like a BKB. You're very squishy. If you ever get gone on as Lina, you're done for. And Lina, despite that, has done pretty well this term. I was looking at some of the win rates, was sitting around that like 70% win rate over like 18-20 games or so, but
yeah,
this is a good example of how to take advantage of Lina's weaknesses.
Pushing through the mid lane for VP with the Aegis up. Alchemist is poor, which means he's got something coming. It's a BKB.
Well, there we go. You know, you recognize magic damage is the big problem, and that when Alk gets BKB...
Weaver. Stun on the ground, Frostbite follow-up, ulti. That was very close. Yeah. If he pops BKB there before going for time-lapse, he lives 100%. So maybe a mistake there.
PL on the other side, though, similar story. Gets caught out, gets brought down. He was going for bounty runes and gets punished.
You definitely take that trade, though.
Oh, Dark Willow died bottom. Okay, there's deaths all over. Every single bounty rune was... There's a hero who just went for it alone and died. Every time 3 of the 4.
Every time I hide the recap, I press show fight recap again. It's another kill.
Yep.
So open and close. So Crystal Mania did get the big Weaver kill, though. A bit of a downside, perhaps, in that. Yep. Most likely going to channel it towards maybe a Glimmer Cape would be really effective, obviously, but some ways I prefer it's on Lina. Give him a BKB. That way he doesn't have to worry as much about a Blink Stun from Dragon Knight, perhaps. Yep. There's so many BKBs.
Bottom lane, VP setting up to defend solo. There's the grip ready from the trees, but didn't have the teammates coming in time, as Alchemist will just leave his illusions to push the top lane.
Solo a bit of a drum fan these days, it seems like.
Yeah, he's an aura fan. You know, teams stop picking these off lanes to get all the aura items, so maybe it's a support job again.
Yeah. And
mid lane, chilling stun. No one gets the stun off. Can't destroy that one, Kaka. Some good reactions, but no one does not want to chase.
So still very hard to take fights against VP with all the BKBs that they have. But Hex is definitely one good way that they have, and Kaka's usually putting his player and his hero in the right place at the right time, but it's so hard when, like, Line is such a surgical hero, you know? It's like, you have really good disables on paper, but you're very vulnerable, you have to be in the right place, and it's not easy to just instantly win a fight, you know? It's almost never going to get like a lineup Earth Spikes. You're still kind of a single target hero. The AoE is just a lot stronger.
Like the mid lane, Alk with a DD rune is taking a tier 2 tower. Not much to be said about that one from the Newbee side, and going to be going for a bit more here. He's still got 50 seconds left on this Aegis. Blink in the stun onto KP. They might be able to burst him down. They should be. Follow-up stun coming onto Faith in the Crystal Main. They leave him to the DK, and it's actually the Radiance finishing while forcing out a buyback on the CM. No buyback for KP. In fact, he bought back earlier, so it's a very long respawn. Yeah, Terrorize going flying through, catches out two, both supports in all sorts of trouble. CM's freezing field gets cancelled thanks to it. Kaka dead as well, deep inside his base, being chased down. Absolutely no escape. The base of Newbee is melting piece by piece.
They're so good how they do everything. They kill the tier 2 tower. They instantly pop a drum charge thinking like, we're going to get to this Rax like a second or two earlier than they expect, and they instantly blink forward, dropping a stun. They had BKBs ready. They had Dragon Knight who's super tanky, and it just starts the team fight in a place that Newbee wasn't expecting. And that's why they rolled them over. And all of a sudden the game is over. I mean, they had a huge advantage. They were likely to win. But even little stuff like that they're pushing against their opponents, that they're not expecting to play against. And that's the kind of stuff that is like, oh, we want to team fight, the game ends. Instead of like it kind of went even, we got to play safe now.
Seen this from Newbee, they not a team to GG out. And I mean, that's really every team here at TI. I mean, some other tournaments throughout the year, it's like, okay, you know, game's probably over, let's GG out. But come TI, you play to that bitter end.
And the one thing no one, or MVP does so well though, is they play it a little safe still. They're doing great moves, they're all on the same page, but they're not taking any gambles here.
And that's historically been VP's downfall sometimes, is their over-aggression, so they're addressing it.
I 100% could have seen them just sticking there, killing the tower, and then continuing the siege. But so much easier. Take the advantage. We almost killed the tower. Split push it again. Reset. We're not going to make mistakes. We're better than these guys. And then go for the next fight. That's got to be how they're thinking.
Very disciplined play coming out from VP. One of the tournament favorites, but a team who has had some TI woes in past years.
And majors, until recently that is. But the prior major system always looked like the team to win the majors would have some disappointing losses here and there.
Yeah.
But not in the last year. They're the biggest major winners at this point in time. And the last couple months, they've really just been showing everybody they're one of the best.
Yes. And they've kind of gotten past that first hurdle with the majors, and now it's like, okay, can they do it with TI? Because they had a disappointing result last year when they were probably one of the, on paper, top 2, top 3 teams coming in, and this year, similar story. They're coming in as probably a top 2 team next to Liquid, and people have high expectations of them, particularly considering the rest of the CIS region and how much it's underperformed.
Alright, here comes the smoke for Virtus Pro here. The creep wave top is pushed out a bit, but they can use illusions to deal with that at least. And in the meantime, is this a defensive smoke for Newbee? They like smoke it across the map.
Yeah. Alk has just hit level 20 and has Octarine, so he's got that 6-second cooldown stun that does an insane amount, 800 max damage. You don't even have to channel it, and you do like a 400 damage stun.
It's going to start his channel. He's going for the PL group. Does get it.
Catches him right away. There's going to be a fall. Terrorize, no doppelganger for you. There's a second stun. That's the cooldown reduction. The Octarine with that level 10 talent decimates Mugi's PL. He does not have buyback, and they're going to make a beeline for this bottom lane. I can only imagine. Faith pokes his nose out. Needs to be careful. SCCC as well. Invis up, luckily. No creep wave. They're going to push the creeps in mid, it looks like, and then access bottom lane thanks to that.
And just once again, Terrorize showing his power. One stun on the right guy.
He's just going in behind the tower. He's not going to get burst. He's got Nightmare. Does have the Finger of Death come out as well. He's still alive somehow, but not for much longer. But the rest of his team should be able to clean up this fight. BKB on the Lina, going to at least give them some fighting options, but VP have BKBs of their own. Enchantress buys back, as does the Bane, and VP going to get to work on the racks here. Not sure there's much Newbee can do to defend. They're going to give it their all, though.
No one does still have his BKB, so if he wants to jump in, or if there's a big fight, he can still use it, but Kaka trying to slow things down is reducing damage. Poch jumping forward.
Finds the lion. That should be enough to clear him out. Actually, they're going to ignore the lion, go for the bigger fish. It's KP who just bought back an SCCC, who they know can't buy back thanks to his BKB purchase. And GG is called. 31 minutes. Another one-sided game. This one
Yes.
more so than the last.
Yeah, it really was. Makes a lot of sense why they ended up banning out the